All right, here we go. So I am connected. I've got the chat. Let's pop that out. I can actually see what people are saying. All right. So today we're going to go over these beautiful 3D prints from Dennis Pointer Function. But to start, I've got my original top loader and it needs to be pulled apart. So I'm going to just start doing that while people join in. Basically, to start with, I'll pull the top loader completely apart and then attempt to put the 3D printed top loader together. Nice. Yes, Dennis, I have been excited too. I have been waiting for this for... I have been waiting for this like a kid waiting for Christmas morning. I am just excited to give this a try. Hopefully we'll just put it all together and it'll all just be good and that'll be that. Otherwise we might swap problematic parts with original parts and see which parts need the most help. Doing this a little different than the way I normally do it. Normally it's not public at all, I just do it. I don't think I've ever opened this top loader, so I'd be curious to see if it's crazy inside. It doesn't look... Oh, there's a little dust bunny in the corner. Get rid of that. Normally I would just put this all together, and then when I run into a problem, I would just send Dennis a description, and if that didn't work, I would send a badly shot cell phone video so he could see what I was talking about. So this time, I have Dennis in the chat, and when I run into a problem, I'll be able to just show him, and he'll be able to answer me live, real time, and everyone else will get to see as well. So that's kind of the thinking here. Yes, exactly. That's when the beatings continue. Yes, this stream might be pick on Dennis time as opposed to pick on Muramasa time. Because normally it's pick on Muramasa time where it's like, wow, look, he put that in backwards. Good job. All right. Take the little plate off. It's got a G CPU and an H PPU. Not that that really matters for what we're doing right now. And there we are. Got that pulled apart, so that did not take very long. Welcome. So, first things first is to see if this tray sits nicely in here. So, we've got these little locator pegs. Since they're made out of resin, they're fragile, so I'm going to try not to break them, at least for the beginning of this. So, that one fits. Look at that. That does exactly what you would expect it to do. All right. Next up, we will take the motherboard and see if that sits flat. There's a little... Well, no, I think it's fine. On previous versions, there were some issues here. It feels a little... I don't know if that's tight. I might be being nitpicky. It's too early to be nitpicky. Yeah. Okay, so Simon says the originals are seldom still attached on real ones from his experience. So that makes sense. And yeah, Dennis already pointed out that it's better than the one he made a year and a half ago. So now I'm going to start putting screws in. I'll just start with these side ones. I think I need a bigger Phillips bit. Oh yeah, should show the alignment on the back for sure. Here, let me get this. Well, let me get that bit in. I got distracted halfway through. Yeah. Oh, that looks pretty good to me. Part of the problem before too is I think I had my modified top loader and it had a 3D printed back. I still don't think it was right, but I think that was contributing to the problem. So this top loader is untouched, just a plain old original top loader. All right, so we got the base assembled. Next up, we're gonna pull out the screws for this. I call this the cartridge throat or the cartridge well. If you've got a better name for it, please let me know. I think I only have 2 top loaders. So I bought this one at Arizona Game On Expo because it was like $100, and it came with a controller and everything, and I was like, that seems like an okay deal, and so I grabbed it, and now I have one that has everything still. Hopefully, I'll get to the end of this and it'll still have everything. Yeah, I agree. Throat feels weird. I think cartridge well might be a little better, but I think throat describes it better. So there's the original one. There is the flap with the spring. We do not want to lose that spring. Put that right there. All right, so we're going to take all this and toss it to the side for now. So this will be interesting to see how well this does. So here is our 3D printed dust flap. Oh, okay. Sound of the ratcheting is unpleasant with headphones on. Cartridge guide. Yeah, I like that better too. The plan is to reproduce the whole shell. So I would plan on reproducing the guide as well, because basically I think the guide would look pretty bad inside of oh man, there it is. It'd look pretty bad inside of a transparent shell, so I'm thinking we're gonna do that. I did not pay attention to how this spring went, but I'm gonna guess it goes like that. And then, all right, that looks good to me. The spacing looks uniform. All right, now we'll see if this slides down in. Oh, that feels good. All right. Well, if my ratcheting screwdriver sounds annoying, I'll just use my normal screwdriver for now. There's no need to torture you all. Wait. Other way around. What's the other way around? Don't screw it back. Haha. Okay. Can you insert the original guide? Yes, I can. that feels pretty good. See how well it matches? It looks like let's see. I don't know if that's an issue, if you can see. That might be the weight of the thing where it doesn't sit completely flat. Might have to compare that to the original. It might be hard to see on the camera too. Let me, except I only got one spring. It's because the spring's the wrong way around. All right. Oh, that I can tell that's going to make a difference. Is this what I'm going for here? Sweet. Oh yeah, that's much better. Amazing what putting it together properly will do. Alright, so now I'm going to screw this cartridge guide in here. That's one of the pieces I was more worried about. Like, I thought there was a good chance that was going to be derped. So, Dennis is winning so far. Alright. Oh yeah, so Simon mentioned something to consider. The PAL Top Loader has the PPU and CPU positions moved, so they are on opposite sides, which means that the NES RGB comes into contact with the guide, requiring modification. If reproducing the guide to make life somewhat easier for NES RGB installs, may want to consider beveling the guide on the CPU-PPU side to clear the NES RGB sandwich. That is interesting. I do not have a PAL Top Loader or an NES RGB. So I wonder, I wouldn't be surprised if Dennis's Top Loader is PAL, but I don't know if he has an NES RGB. I imagine he would have noticed if he did. And yeah, I didn't know there was a PAL Top Loader. So I'm with Dennis. All right. So we might have to get a PAL Top Loader for this project, which I don't think that'd be the worst thing in the world. All right. I'm going to add buttons in. So if I recall correctly, these are the buttons Dennis made forever ago, and they're good. There were some modifications that had to be made. These little tabs made out of resin are super flimsy. So I bought two, but the more I play with this, the more likely I am going to break it. There we go. I'm a little worried how much an NES PAL Top Loader might cost, especially considering I didn't know it existed. Hopefully it's not crazy. Alright, now for the reset button. I probably should have ordered these in black. It would have looked cooler, but oh well. Alright. Next up, we'll bring the base back. Let's see, make sure I got the power switch down. impressed. That seems good. Yeah. Should probably try it with the original top as well. Yep, no weird click at the front. Ooh. I think that's the same. So yeah, I think Dennis may have nailed this one. One thing I wanted to try, I've got a test cartridge. And see how that fits in there. Look at that. It did, I don't know, it might be a little tight. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's going together like a glove. All right, let's pull that off again. And we'll compare that with the original. Oh, I guess it's just a tighter fit than I thought. I think there might be a little bit more gap at the back, maybe. Seems pretty good though. If we do it like that. Oh, it's not going to work like that because I got the Yeah, so I think the opening for the cartridge needs to be like a little bigger. And maybe even if the originals are slightly tight too, maybe having it a little bigger is not a bad idea. I'm going to finish screwing it together just for the sake of saying we did everything. Yeah, no, if that's the biggest problem, then we're in pretty good shape. No, I did not put the shielding on top. Thanks for reminding me. I totally missed that. You even reminded me in time. All right, this goes like this. That lines up. Oh, you know what else I didn't do? I didn't screw the motherboard in. Well, I did it here. I didn't do it over here. One thing you'd like to see is the one thing you want to see is the shield on top, or is it something else? Okay. And we will thread this 3D print as gently as we can. That I think that's another way. Might try this one really quick. Yeah, I think that's good. The other thing I'm interested in is any modifications that we might do. So Simon already mentioned making the cartridge well accommodate a PAL top loader better. But one thing that had been mentioned to me before is putting a little hole here for people that do the LED mod. Alright, see if the extra flap fits inside the original shell for me. Oh, yeah. Looks pretty good to me. I am glad I've ordered an extra one of those now, because I would not have wanted to pull that out. Alright, let's see. Oh, I was like, why doesn't it fit anymore? It's because of my power switch. So there's the back. You'd asked about that. Seems a little short at the back. Yeah. So the cartridge area just needs a little bit of adjustment, and I'm guessing that will also result in the flap being adjusted a bit too. Rather than a hole for an LED, how about an LED boss holder and have LED shine through the plastic? I don't know. I'd be curious to see what Dennis thinks of that. Alright, I'm gonna put these last screws in, even though what's probably gonna happen is I'll just pull it apart afterwards, or soonish. I don't know if there are any other modifications to do. One idea I had was to see if I could make the mold configurable. And by that I mean for a top loader, for instance. Oh, well, I don't have an AV out here right now. One idea I had was to see if I could make the opening optional here, and then do like an Open Tendo style board that had the 15-pin port, and then you could build a top loader with the 15-pin port on the side. But I think now that I think about it more, let's see. The only thing I'm seeing, the top and bottom at the back seem a little high. Oh, I'm going to put these last screws in, and then we can see it all put together. Oh, yeah. Game Whisperer asks, when assembled, can you place both side by side to check the height? Yeah, we will do that. Oh, wow. That's unfortunate. I don't know if you can see that. Just like stripped the head off of that poor security screw. So that'll be fun to deal with. Luckily, I have lots of security screws, so it's not a huge deal, but there we go. All right, fully screwed together. There's the back again. Yeah, no, it was supposed to be pick on Dennis time, but I'm not accommodating that very well. So I've seen that some of the Gambit screws, like if you put them into a new case, you strip the heads off. Okay, so let's see. You can see this better than I can, I think. I'm trying to get them lined up. I don't know, what do you guys see? I feel like I need... Yeah, it's because they're not pre-tapped, so we're threading the holes with the screws, and a lot of the old screws and even some of the new screws don't appreciate that. Yeah, I think it looks good. Now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of wish I'd ordered the buttons in black and the base in black. Maybe I'll do that next time, because it sounds like there'll be at least one more. But probably just one more. Also, even though probably not a lot of people would love this as much as I do love the Muramasa entertainment system. So I could see having my own version where I can run the mold with that on there, and then maybe with an opening over here, and then I could have a top loader with my name on it with the FAMI AV, and it could be my own board, however I want to do it. Assuming that the connectors I buy would fit. Let's see. Oh, vent holes look a bit wider and shorter. True. Also mentioned that the vent holes is probably not an issue, and I agree. Let's have another look at that. I can't. I should have brought my calipers out here. I'd originally intended to do that. Although I'm sure, I'm willing to bet that Dennis measured them. I don't know if they look different to me or not. Looking at the... maybe a little. Yeah, thanks. An invoice is exactly what I need right now. But I think, I don't know if there's anything left to do here. This is going a lot faster than I thought it would. We could move on to the cartridge shell while I've got Dennis here. I don't know if there's... I was going to do this one separate, but honestly, I think this one... this is probably going to be like 10 minutes, so maybe it's not even worth the separate stream. So maybe we should just do this now. So... we'll pull open my stupidly expensive test cartridge. Maybe. I think that's the right bit. I don't know if it's okay, that one's loose. This screwdriver is not magnetic. There we go. Just leave those in there for now. This is actually probably not the best cartridge to test this with because the board is so small. So funny enough, a test cartridge is just an NROM board. I originally bought this because I was like, oh, I wonder what hardware is inside, because I'd never played with one. That feels good. Let's see. Does that feel looser? Maybe I'll hold it. I don't know how much I could hear the board in here before. Let's get these screws out. I do have some. Oh yeah. Depends on where I hold it. So, all right. So now, one of the biggest tests, I think, is seeing if a 3D print matches up with an original. Shortboards can rattle a bit anyway, yeah. I don't know if I would rather have a 5-screw design, to be honest. Just because, if I recall correctly, the 5 screws don't have these tabs at the top. To be fair, that might make it somewhat cheaper to manufacture, maybe. But I don't know. For me, this one's just kind of the more iconic one. So, 3D printed top with the original bottom fits together well. And let's see. Trying to get a view on these ridges. Let's try this. the light might be too bright to see those. Let's see how well they aligned on the original. They're not quite perfect, but I don't know if I would care. Like if I got oops, sorry. My Alright, so I think they're really similar. I think it just depends on if it's screwed together and whatnot. So now I need the 3D printed front. And an original back. There we go. Oops, let me bring the camera back out. Yeah, I think these cartridge shells are ready too. I guess the only other thing to check is to make sure that the boards fit around this area properly. Yes, another flawless victory for sure. So like, oh, and these right here, these are important. So I need a larger board to test with, preferably an original one. Because for me, it's very simple to find. Let's see, which Mega Man game would have the biggest board in it? Probably 5 and 6. I'm actually I'm trying to figure out. I have 2 MMC5 games, and those are the ones I'd want to test with. I'm trying to think where they are. I think they could be in 2 spots. So here, I'm just going to go check really quick, and if I can find those, I'll just bring those back. Otherwise, we'll probably be about done. Alright, didn't find the MMC5, but went ahead and grabbed Mega Man 6. You can still see my $7 thrift store sticker on there. Let me put my test cartridge back together before I do something dumb with it. There we go. You know, funny enough, I don't own a gyroscope Famicom adapter board. One of the reasons I originally made my Famicom adapter board was because I didn't want to buy one. I'm trying to think. Oh, so for Mega Man 6, I got that in like 2004. And I remember I found it at a thrift store. And I remember walking around the thrift store like holding it because I was like, man, $7 sure is a lot for an NES game. And so, like, I probably walked around with it for, like, a good, like, 15 or 20 minutes. I think the thing that kind of sent me over to buying it is I found a VCD add-on for the PlayStation that was also, like, $7. And I was like, I really want that. And if I'm going to buy that, I might as well buy the Mega Man game, too. And so I never... see... Look at that. That's a little board. That's gonna barely help us. It feels good though, at least for over here. So, I don't remember which VCD add-on I got. I can figure it out, though. Because I had seen it recently. The funny thing is I remember seeing this at the store, and it didn't look like the one I had seen before. But I was like, I don't know. I was like, what else could it be for? It's got the connection on the back, connects to the video, has the video output. I was like, it's got to be a VCD add-on. And sure enough, that's what it was. All right, let's put my Mega Man 6 back together. Let's see. Looking at the chat because I've only sort of been paying attention. Oh yeah, so 5 screw shells use regular Phillips screws. I think I knew that. My guess is that Dennis is interested in modeling a 5 screw shell probably regardless. Like, even if I didn't make it, I'm sure he'd love to make a model and release it. Like, I imagine that's true. And yeah, so the funny thing is you finished the Dogbone controller like the day after I ordered. So if I had slowed my if I'd slowed my order down just a little more, I would have just ordered it at the same time. But I was in a hurry, so I didn't. But yeah, so I think, let's see, let's bring this back in. I think we're in pretty good shape. Dennis will look at this again and maybe look at the LED idea, and then we'll figure out the cartridge well and see if we can make it more accommodating to a NES RGB. But as far as prototypes go, because even though the bottom is not the first prototype, the top is the first version, the well is the first version, I'm pretty sure. The flat might not be the first version, but pretty good for first tries. So I think this went well, and I think this will probably be good enough for today. Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks to Dennis for doing the model and being super duper helpful and catching all of my weird mistakes as I put it together. And I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. So thanks a lot.